Welcome to Work-Based Learning. Glad you're able to come to an orientation. It's been hard to fit everybody in. Work-based learning students is sometimes the first place that you have an employment situation. We want to make sure that you are all realize that you are ambassadors of the school. Even if you've not been at the Tech Center before, you are representing the Tech Center, your home school, and yourself. It's very important that you know what your responsibilities are. We want to make sure that you are performing well and representing your school and the Tech Center well. This is a training program, not just a way to make money. And you're responsible for your own transportation to the site, and you can't transport other students. The signed training agreement, that looks like one of these objects here. You have to have a training agreement, needs to be signed before you can start. You're going to be signing the student, parent, and the worksite signature, and then your counselor at your school. So those need to be signed back to here, and then myself and Mr. Townsley will also sign those, and then you'll be legal to go. This is a state and federal law that you have the signed training agreement before you start working. At this point, then it will finally show up on your schedule. Until then, it will not show up on your schedule. As soon as we get you those training agreements to get them signed, make sure and get them soon as possible. You can fax them, take a picture of them, and email them as soon as possible so we can get those signed and you can get back out on the job legally and earning credit. Attendance both in school and on the job is required at all times. If there's an emergency, if you are sick, you are not going to go to your site. You're also not going to go to school. Now, this year it's a little bit quirky because some of you aren't going to school at any time. For those of you who are going to in-person instruction, if you are too sick for school, you are too sick for work. Changing jobs during the course of the year is only permitted under unusual circumstances. There's a lot of time that goes into this. At the beginning of the year, you have signed up for the whole year, your parents have signed up for the whole year, your employer has signed up for the whole year, and the paperwork has to be completed and submitted and approved before you're going to change placements. Please talk to me if there's an issue with your placement and you need to change. It's very rare that I will approve a change. Please let me know if there's an issue with that before you would do something like quit your job. Appropriate appearance is required. You know what you need to wear to attend your place. Program ends on your last day of school, whatever your last day of school is. Any other change would have to be mutually agreed upon by your employer and the local school district and the coordinator, which is me. The training agreement, that's the magic for the signatures. Now, your employer has some responsibilities also. They are going to provide a minimum of 10 to 15 hours a week and a maximum of 24 hours a week if you're under 18 years old. Over 18, you can work any amount of hours. Make sure that you're also getting your schoolwork done. If you're failing in school, you're not going to be able to do this opportunity either. There has to be adult supervision at all times. Even if you're 18 yourself, there has to be someone else at your job site. And they have to provide a safe environment, safety glasses, whatever safety equipment that you need to carry out your job safely. Co-op and the class extension students, you are required to report back to class at the Tech Center for 40 minutes a week. So this can be in person or virtually. Please make sure and check with your instructor from the class you had last year what the manner of reporting will be. So either manner of reporting you do, in your Google Classroom, there will be a back to class form each week that you will fill out. You can fill out the time and the date that you have gone back to class, and towards the bottom of the screen is the virtual attendance. If you do not report back to class in some fashion, you're not going to be able to go to work until you get caught up on that form. Communication is extremely important because you're not in the classroom saying, I have a question, I have a problem. You need to communicate with me and with your employer to make sure that everything's going okay. When you communicate with me, you can text or call me on my cell phone. Keep in mind for that communication, not before 7 a.m. and not after 9 o'clock at night, but you can call my phone at my desk here at the Tech Center, 265-1671, or you can email me any time of day and leave a message. If you're having a hard time getting hold of me, you can contact Mrs. Livingston, and her number is 265-1665 or tina.livingston@lisd.us. At the end of the presentation and in your printed version of this presentation, there will be a page of the contact information. So communication needs to also happen with your mentor, employer. If you're sick, if you're going to be late, you need to contact your employer as soon as possible. If you need to be absent due to an appointment or some other issue scheduled in advance later on in the year, maybe a college visit, let your employer, supervisor know as soon as possible that you need to request the time off. Also communicate any time that you might be running late. In case that the school is going to be closed due to weather, let your employer know as soon as possible what your intentions are. Sometimes you're going to go in, sometimes you're not going to go in, but at least let them know so they're not worried about you. Custom class students and class extension students, for the most part, you are on a school schedule. So when school is closed, you're not going to go to your work site. There's school-related days like in-service day, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break. You do not have to go to your work site, but you may choose to go to your work site. Make sure and let your employer know what your intentions are. For co-op and work experience students, you are on a work schedule now, so you're going to go to work every day. If there's bad weather days, be safe and stay home. Let your employer know those days like Christmas break, Thanksgiving break coming up. If you have plans and wish to take that work day off, let them know, let your employer know in advance. Your grades will be computed on an evaluation that looks kind of like that, except for the other way around. So you're going to be graded, and this is kind of a different way that you've gotten grades than any other time. We will send this evaluation out to your supervisor every month, and they will send it back, and they're going to mark it in the 10 categories. They're going to mark it on work quality, quantity of work, attendance and punctuality, integrity, appearance, attitude, initiative, communication, human relations, and responsibility. Perhaps you have 5 4s and 5 3s. 4 is the highest with an A, and 3s are like Bs. If you had an average of 3.5, that would be a B+, as long as all your time cards are in on time. In your Google Classroom. After the supervisor fills it out and signs it, makes some comments, I hope they will go over it with you and also get your signature, and then they'll send it back in to me and Mrs. Livingston. The comments will be available for you to view in your Google Classroom account. So make sure and use this as a tool. This is not something to beat you up on. We want you to be able to say, okay, I had only a 2 in integrity or 2 in attitude. What can I do next month to bring that up? So this is part of your learning experience, to be able to ask and communicate with your employer on what you need to change in the way that you're carrying out your job. Time cards, super important. They will show up in your Google Classroom as an assignment. You'll fill them out each 2-week period. That grade that we figured out from the evaluation, if you ended up with a 3.5 with a B+ as your grade, and you had a late time card, it's going to take that down to a B. Another late time card down to a B-. Your grades will not show up in eSchool Home Access until the end of each quarter. If you have a question about your grade, you will need to refer to evaluations each month. Keep your time card daily and then turn it in at the end of the 2 weeks as soon as possible. We want you to be able to get it in and on time. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to do that. Once in a while, that something's going to come up that you're not able to get it in on time. Let me know what that might be, and I might not mark your grade down. And that will be in your Google Classroom, but we'll also get you the magic calendar. The 2 weeks that are the same color on the calendar are the ones that go on each time card. So currently we're on the blue week here from September 27th and October 4th, the beginning of the week. So you want to keep your time card daily and then turn it in at the end of the 2 weeks as soon as possible. Time cards are serious, okay? This is your attendance as far as the state is concerned, and when they come and audit us, if we don't have your time cards, your school loses their federal funding. If you're more than one time card behind, we'll let you know first, we'll let your employer know, we'll let your counselor know, and then you're not going to be able to go to your work site until you get caught up. The blank time cards like that are available at Mrs. Livingston's desk in Student Services. You can also get them each assignment in your Google Classroom. We'll have that so that you can print it out each time, each 2-week period. Make sure that you have the following complete, the correct dates on top according to the master calendar, your complete name, the site name, your time in, time out each day, the hours each day, hours for the week, and the employer signature. And then all you're going to do is take a picture of it and upload it into your Google Classroom. If you drop out of your homeschool, if you are suspended from your homeschool, if you have excessive work absences or school absences, or if you are fired. Also, if you have a failing grade in the first semester or failure to upload time cards, then you're not going to be able to do your work-based learning anymore and you'll start losing credit. If you fail to upload it and you're behind, the email is sent warning you to missing time card, then your counselor and your supervisor are going to be notified, and then you are suspended from a work site. And if this continues to happen, you are going to be suspended from your work site. In your Google Classroom, you will notice there's a couple different things that you will need to complete for safety in the workplace. You'll look up something from the OSHA website that follows up with completing a safety quiz in your Google Work-Based Learning Classroom. The other one is the Safe Schools training. Mrs. Livingston would have sent you your login for Safe Schools. You're going to complete the bloodborne pathogens, the sexual harassment, and COVID-19 modules. Print out your certificates. When you complete each of those, take a picture of them and upload it in this assignment in your Google Classroom. Make sure that you're all taking care of the COVID. Things that we have to do: wash your hands, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, cover your sneeze. You are required to wear a mask at your work site. If you have a question about certain circumstances at your work site, let me know. In the work-based learning Google Classroom, you need to go in and do your student information. And then one of the other things that we haven't mentioned yet is the worksite expectation review. So this one you're going to need to print out. If you can't print it out, let Mrs. Livingston know. She'll get you a paper copy. And so you're going to fill in your name, your business name, and then you're going to check off the boxes as you go. Work duties: I have reviewed and discussed the following with my employer. Work duties and responsibilities, who to go to with questions, attendance expectations including procedures for requesting time off and calling in sick, and I have received worksite specific safety instructions. That last one is a super important one because the state wants us to make sure you have worksite specific safety training. So you're going to sign it and date it and have your employer sign it and date it. There's a place to upload it, of course, in Google Classroom, or that one you can get into us and drop off. After you have watched this video, there will be a place in the Work-Based Learning Google Classroom to complete the Work-Based Learning quiz, and there will be a place to click off that you completed watching the video. With PowerPoint within Work-Based Learning Orientation, we'll give you my contacts, Lori Bradshaw, and for Tina Livingston, our secretary. We will also include in there a copy of the Magic Calendar. So, any questions that you might have, you let me know, you let Mrs. Livingston know. We hope to make this a good experience for you for the whole year. Remember that Work-Based Learning Experience is a class. You are earning high school credit for this, 2 or 3 credits probably, and you need to take care of all the requirements that we ask of you. Time cards are especially important, but make sure and do a good job while you're out there in your Work-Based Learning Experience. Have a great day.